Hi there. I want to make one quick video talking about my feelings about someone that's in the news to some degree, I think because of Kanye West. Her name is Candace Owens, and she has an interesting history um, as far as something to do with Gamergate and media hit people, which I won't go into. But I will say that her views on race are ones that I can get behind, and she makes me feel comfortable. Um, you could say safe. It's funny how people use the word safe. I don't like to use that word. People are looking for safety in relationships. Um, they look for people with whom they can feel some kind of sense of safeness, safety. Oh, I feel safe with you. I mean, I guess that's the general feeling that I do have. I feel like she's someone that I can talk to and have a genuine conversation with. In other words, I feel that I can talk to her. Not that I would, but if I were sitting down with her, I could express myself. I could show her who I am. I could share my real, genuine thoughts, as opposed to what I generally feel. Now, she is a black woman. She has brown skin, and so that means black in our culture right now. Um, and typically, I don't feel comfortable talking to black people. Typically, I don't feel that I. Sorry if that light from my ceiling light is too strong. Um, Typically, I don't feel that I can share myself, that I can be honest and forthright or have a two-way, genuine conversation with most black people. And why that is, I think that is because there is this inherent, not inherent, but socially constructed division that exists in many cases. Sometimes it's there only because I believe it's there. Um, I don't. I think Candace Owens is exposing that construction, and so because of that, I feel that she is someone I can talk to and be honest with, and someone that I would feel comfortable talking to without fear of reprisal, without fear of emotional abuse. And that is genuinely inspiring for me. Um, I feel what Candace Owens is doing is she is uh, blowing up nonsense. She is exposing nonsense, the nonsense that is in our culture. I don't know what her future is. I don't know if she will keep having the opinion she has now. But for right now, what she's saying is inspiring. She's young. I think she's either in her 20s or early 30s. So there's always an opportunity for her to change her mind, and she is open to changing her mind. She says she came from the left and now she's on the right. Um, I find myself familiarizing more with the conservative standpoint, and I'm very reluctant to say that because I feel like it's so cliche to, as I am growing older, I'm going on 33, you know, now I'm more interested in the conservative discussion. You know, when I'm 50, will I have a 20-year-old or, yeah, a 20-year-old who is liberal, so called, and I have to argue with my 20-year-old son or daughter because, I'm the old conservative, and you have to be conservative when you're older, and when you're younger, you have to be liberal. There's some kind of quote from someone to that effect that I can't remember quite well. If you're young and not a liberal, you don't have a heart. If you're old and not a conservative, you don't have a mind or a brain. Completely ridiculous quote, and it's not accurate, I feel. But I will say one thing. I think there is this dynamic of the left and the right, and the the way people talk about it is that it's on this horizontal plane. So there's the left, which includes the extreme left, at the extreme end. Then there's the right, which includes the extreme right at the far end. And then there's somewhere in the middle. And most people believe that that's the best place to be. And I think that's, I hope I'm using this correctly, a false dichotomy. I believe that there's like truth, which is more of a vertical, I would say it's on a vertical plane or axis, maybe not a plane. It's on a vertical line. And so basically, in the way that I look at things, there is the human being, and the human being grows in love. And at the bottom of this is put in a very elementary way, and don't read too much into it. This is essentially what I believe. At the bottom end of that vertical axis, you have people who are not very loving, that are very selfishly motivated, that think mostly in terms of how do I survive, how do I have clothes on my back, how do I eat, how do I have shelter, and how do I satisfy most of my addictions, of which everybody has many addictions. As you go further in that ladder, in Maslow's hierarchy, say people are more interested in self-actualization, spiritual questions, spiritual matters, religious questions, even scientific questions. And as you grow in love, you also grow in wisdom and knowledge. And there is more of an ability to love, and also more of an ability to access or accept or absorb truth and knowledge as you go higher on that axis. So the false dichotomy to me is that there's the left and the right, and too much of an extreme on either side is not good, and maybe somewhere in the middle is better, and maybe that's also just comfortable and not good. To me, it's not a question of left and right or liberal and conservative on this horizontal plane. It's more of a vertical axis as far as what's true or what's not so good, and what's very good, and what's true, and what's decent and right and loving, most importantly. And on that vertical axis, I would include what the creator's thoughts and opinion is on any subject. So, because I do believe in a creator being, I believe that creator being has like the highest moral authority and the best perspective on any given subject. So for that reason, I hesitate, and in fact, I refuse to label myself on any kind of liberal conservative spectrum, or even, as my dad recently said, I would say I'm right of center. I wouldn't even call myself right of center. I am concerned with what God's opinion and perspective is on matters, and I would like to the best of my ability, discover what that is. Anyway, I started talking about Candace Owens, and then I talked about another subject that I'm interested in. I hope this wasn't too tedious or boring or long. I think these are important issues. What I really wanted to say, I hope my time won't run out. What I really wanted to say is that I don't believe that I am racist. I think that there is this discomfort in the dialogue between white people and black people. And that discomfort has not so much to do with racism, but with people perpetuating this miserable dynamic for their own selfish desires. And I don't want to be a part of that. And I think that discomfort is what is called racism, and it's not actual racism. I don't associate with certain people because I don't want to be part of that incorrect dynamic there. Taking way too long to say this, and I'm probably never going to be satisfied with what I'm saying. I'm just going to end it there. Thanks for watching.